From CNBC, advertising group suspends brand safety net after Elon Musk's antitrust lawsuit. This is huge.
It is.
This is GARM. GARM started in 2019 as part of in part to help advertisers avoid having their promotions show up alongside content they deemed harmful. The Global Advertising Association said it is suspending the operations of a unit focused on brand safety 2 days after Elon Musk's company X sued the group, alleging it organized an illegal ad boycott. The World Federation of Advertisers, WFA, confirmed Thursday that it would halt its nonprofit initiative. This is basically what leftist activists do to control narrative and manipulate people. Well, Rumble also joined the lawsuit, and now it has been dismantled. With Elon Musk buying X, they cannot contend with such a massive multi-billion-dollar platform filing these lawsuits. So, look, we can thank Elon for buying Twitter, turning it into X, bringing free speech back to certain degrees. There's certain things that are still bad on the platform, but I think Musk's doing a really great job. And then there's more than just your right to speak on the platform and getting your account back. For instance, Carl Benjamin back on the platform after Elon Musk bought it. Now, at the global stage, these advertiser boycotts and this woke machine is failing. Rumble joins in. More companies are now able to push back. They say ex-CEO Linda Yaccarino said in a post on X, "This is an important acknowledgement and a necessary step in the right direction. I am hopeful that it means ecosystem-wide reform is coming." So, huge news.
This is also a loss for the WEF. Because they were affiliated with GARM as well. It was one of their co-projects.
The ad boycotts, the adpocalypse, is how they suppress voices they don't like. They try to remove your ads. They did this to Tucker Carlson. He had something like 16 advertisers, and then they started attacking his advertisers. People started getting scared of the activists and pulling out. Now the tide is turning, and the advertisers are this is not even advertisers. These are activist organizations. Advertisers don't care. They want to sell products.
This is a cartel. That's what this is. And the cartel is doing, and they're doing a protection racket, right? It's a shakedown. They go and they say, hey, we're willing to bring all of our advertisers who have all signed on to these rules. And if you are going to play ball with us, then we'll bring our advertisers. But otherwise, we'll tell all the people that signed on that they're not going to be allowed because they've gone into binding agreements under this. And now it's dismantled. So that's good news. Doesn't mean it's going to fix the problem overnight, though. There's still going to be people that are demonetized. There's still going to be platforms that are going to struggle. As long as they can hold out long enough, then maybe these people come back. But
I think that's the problem, though. For X, there's a lot of cash flow and you have the attention. But if you're a smaller organization that's trying to start out, having a coalition of people saying we're going to block advertising from your platform is, completely detrimental. In fact, it could be fatal to your business.
And they've named specific people too. They went after Loud with Crowder.
We actually have this story. This is from today as well. Mm-hmm. MAGA supporters on X call for Dunkin' Donuts boycott. Go woke, go broke. Dunkin' Donuts told Rumble, according to the story. They said, to be honest, I would. I'm assuming they're emailing Chris. I would be opposed to showing up on the current version of the platform. The right-wing culture on the site is too polarizing from a brand suitability standpoint. Redacted. But we are open to continuing discussion as the site evolves. I am sorry to share that because I want to help. That's a lie.
That's a shakedown.
Rumble has a lot of right-wing podcasts on it. That doesn't mean much. YouTube, and there's a bunch of platforms that are far left. Rumble has Street League skateboarding. They've got a bunch of skateboard stuff. So how about this? Dunkin' Donuts says, if our ads only appear on your skate and sports and gaming stuff, we're cool. We don't want to be on the political stuff. That's totally normal. Instead, they were like, we won't advertise with you at all for this. So now people are calling for a boycott. But here's what's interesting. Apparently, this was specifically about Louder with Crowder. They say, let me read. They say, Rumble hosts a variety of controversial right-wing figures, blah, 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 controversial. Pavlovsky claimed Dunkin' specifically wanted Rumble to drop right-wing political commentator Steve Crowder. It's Steven Crowder. It's not Ruble, it's Rumble, and it's Pavlovsky.
You know what the sad thing is?
Really dedicated to this story.
Yeah, no more, again, editor problems. The thing that's really sad is whenever you have, if you run an online business, you can opt out of advertisers that are going to bring you. Like ad agencies will come to you and say, hey, we want to advertise on your podcast, on your program, whatever it is. And you'll say, okay, cool. Listen, I don't do metal sponsors. I don't do political advertisements. I'm not interested in sports or gambling stuff, online gambling. You can actually tell them, hey, these are the things I don't want to hear ads from. And vice versa. The advertisers can say, I'm not interested in political podcasts. I'm only interested in girls in in bikinis playing video games. And like, there's a ton of that on Rumble. So you can pick what it is that you want to go and advertise on. Like you said, you can be very selective about how these ads run. So this is nonsensical. It's a shakedown.
I do think it's really funny that the reason Rumble reached out to Dunkin' Donuts is because the sponsor reads and ads on Rumble that they oversample coffee. And it's because coffee is an easy product for people to sell for merch for their brand or whatever. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, you name a brand, they've started selling coffee. It's an easy product to sell. So if you've got
it's consumable,
podcast,
it's every day.
Everybody loves coffee.
Yep.
The reason we launched coffee is partially why we have Cast Brews, partially because coffee is easy and everybody loves coffee, but it's also because we want physical location. So the actual intent was, we bought a building first. We were trying to open up a coffee shop. It's taken a year and a half. Permits are moving forward. We're really excited about this. And so we're like, we'll launch the website and sell the coffee first. That way we're sponsoring ourselves. Mm-hmm. This is what most people do. So Chris is like, people on this website sell a lot of coffee. Let's go to Dunkin' and see if they want to advertise here, because everybody who's like watching these shows, they buy a lot of coffee. It's over-indexing. And Dunkin' was like, nah. We don't want to go where people buy coffee, which makes no sense.
Do you know who I think about when I think about like right-wing people that drink coffee? I think about cops who spend an awful lot of time in Dunkin' Donuts because it's what's open when you're working late hours.
Oh, dude, if cops start boycotting Dunkin'.
You're talking about 1 million people that are sworn officers in this country. A huge chunk of them lean, at least they lean generally conservative because they care about law and order. And they also sort of lean towards liberty, you hope. There's some fascists out there, obviously, but mostly these people want to see people be able to be free. That's what their hand in the air says when they sign on. So yeah, I'd like to see 1 million cops. And they did this to Starbucks a little bit, and so the alternative was Dunkin'. If Dunkin' wants to get on that bandwagon,
well,
Catturd
says, I'm calling on everyone to Bud Light Dunkin' Donuts. Seriously, companies like Dunkin' Donuts think they can bully us. Mm-hmm. And what I'm asking you tonight is to stick together and turn Dunkin' Donuts into Bud Light. If you have any fight left in you, let's trend boycott Dunkin' Donuts. So, I mean, this isn't part of the advertising cartel. It's just, this is what the companies do. Now, here's what I love. Ryan Long nailed this in one of his comedy bits, and I want to see if I can, let me see if I can pull this one up. I'm not sure exactly what he titled the video, but it's a, let's see, left-wing, here we go.
We're going to take a quick break.
I'm going to show you a clip from Ryan Long so you can understand what's going on.
Here to tell you about our sponsor. We're going to take a quick break here to tell you about our sponsors. Now, this episode is brought to you by Bunker Vitamins.
So Ryan Long is playing the Patriot Hour, and then he's got, I'm not sure, who is that? Is that, I forgot, I don't know, I can't tell who that is. Nathan Cox. It says the Comrade Cast, but it's not his real name. So when Ryan Long talks, he's the Patriot Hour right wing, and the leftist is the other guy.
Now, this episode is brought to you by Bunker Vitamins. The world is ending, folks. You're going to want all the nutrients that you can get.
All right, comrades. This next segment is brought to you by Monsanto and Pepsi-Cola.
Now, this is an anti-critical race theory cup. For those of you who hate propaganda, you're going to love drinking out of this.
And that tax the rich moment was brought to you by Amazon and China National Petroleum.
This is just a mug that says liberals are bad.
Angie's List and Chase Bank.
Folks, I can't wait to tell you about this new product, Freedom Water. Now, this is just a jug of water for those who love freedom. Good old-fashioned American H2O.
Citadel and Berkshire Hathaway.
January 6th, commemorative Patriot Plungers. Now, if you use the promo code ElectionStolen...
This podcast is also a collaboration with Netflix Podcast Studio, HBO, and Hulu.
Now, this is Second Amendment computer paper here. It's just a blank sheet of paper for those out there that love the Second Amendment.
State Farm Insurance, if you want to save.
This is a Patriot pillow, folks. As you know, the Civil War is about to happen. You're going to want a good night's sleep first.
10 reasons why you should get boosted, brought to you by Pfizer.
Now, this is the funny thing, and the reason why I bring this up. Dunkin' Donuts would have no problem. None of these companies would have any problem advertising on any leftist show. They would never say that. YouTube is leftist, Facebook is leftist, and none of these advertisers are like, well, you know, the left-wing bias on your platform is a problem for us.
I just don't think the transgression will be big enough to really anger the MAGA overlords enough. Before with the Bud Light, it was the transgenders, and you know that really gets the people going. This sending an email saying you won't advertise with them, it doesn't equate to that transgender culture war, electrocuted rail of getting everybody going. This is just kind of
because how many companies are not even responding to these emails, right? Like at least Dunkin' is sort of saying like, this is why we can't do it. I bet there are tons that they reach out to who just like quietly delete the email from Rumble, and apparently we're not going to boycott them because we don't know who they are.
Frankly, nice of them to respond. I see Cat Turd is leading the way on all the boycotts or anybody who crosses the line against MAGA. I think he did something similar to Kyle Rittenhouse. So now if you cross the line, Cat Turd is number one. We'll put you in the struggle session, the MAGA struggle session coming from Cat Turd.
Yeah, they struggle sessioned Kyle Rittenhouse. That was a mistake.
And now they're putting Dunkin' Donuts in there with him.
I'm okay with the Dunkin' Donuts one.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
I could do my rest of my entire life with never having another Dunkin' Donuts coffee or anything else.
Dunkin' Donuts was like the only chain in town, a very small town I grew up in, so I have a strong affinity for it. But that being said, there are so many local coffee companies. Like, coffee is an easy thing to buy smaller than from a big national chain.
I'd rather have no coffee.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
I don't
that's a
drink coffee.
lifestyle
I don't
choice.
understand.
No, I mean, I'll drink coffee every day, but I'd rather have no coffee than Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
And,
same thing for Starbucks, by the way. I don't
Well,
want
I give Starbucks like a C+.
because you like burn stuff.
Well, that's why I give them a C+ because it's not always that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's.
But they always hate cops, and they always kind of hate people on the right.
Oh, as a corporation's no good.
Yeah, so-
I'm just saying in terms of their coffee.
I think it's
Dunkin'
garbage for
Donuts.
the
actual quality.
All their
Is-
drinks
yeah,
are
right.
It's garbage.
it's
Don't go
mediocre.
to Dunkin' Donuts. It's not good for you. Most of their
brew
drinks.
your coffee at home. Like a
I mean, they
grown-up.
serve donuts, and then for a lot of people go get their other sugary garbage drinks. It's like 50 grams of sugar, all their gross syrups. Just that stuff's unhealthy for you. Don't go to
much
boycott
negativity
Dunkin'
from Elad
Donuts
tonight.
I was going to be like,
for
how
your
dare
health,
you?
not because of this particular cat turd.
Yeah, you
tweet.
shouldn't be eating these donuts, man. I hear these stories all the time. There are people who are like, when I go to Europe, when I'm outside of America, I eat bread and I feel fine. I don't gain weight. In the United States, I eat bread and I just instantly gain tons of weight.
The binders.
Is that with binders?
Yeah, so they're commercial binders that make them shelf stable for longer. My wife bakes bread. We've gone like the full like trad life thing. My wife makes sourdough now, so it's trendy.
Does she sell it?
What's up?
You guys have a bakery?
We do not have a bakery. We have a home, and we have a bunch of kids running around.
But you
eating the
get
sourdough.
imported foreign flour?
She has. She uses either King Arthur or something organic from Costco. We buy in bulk. We go through seriously like 20 pounds of flour at a very fast clip. The other day she was like, "Hey, do we have where's that 10-pound bag?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And she's
Any
like,
seed
"There's
oils
no way
in
I use
that
it."
bread or?
No, dude, come on now.
Just had to make sure.
And we use like really good butter that's grass-fed butter, from good grass-fed cows. But the end of the day is those commercial binders are the thing that are really ugly. If you go eat, let's say, French bread in Paris, you can run on a baguette like all day long, and you're not going to feel the same way as if you were to go get one that's coming from like a Safeway or what other stores are out there, Publix. I'm trying to think of HEB. I'll try to work
all of the grocery
I'm
store
working my
chains
way
under the-
across the nation. Yeah, but as you do those, like those will sit on the shelf for days, and they'll last in your house for days. Like sourdough is good for like a day and a half, 2 days, and then it's really good for croutons after that because that's how it's supposed to be.
Your food is
So let's
supposed to go bad.
let's check Dunkin'.
Supposed to go
While
bad.
we're here and we're talking about whether or not anyone should boycott Dunkin' Donuts,
Enriched flour. There it
we've
is.
got the product name Buttermilk Donut, and it says ingredients: buttermilk cake donut mix, enriched wheat flour, malted barley flour, niacin, iron, thiamine, mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid. Oh, that doesn't mean a lot. Sugar, soybean oil, powdered buttermilk, dry egg yolk leavening. Let's see, pyrophosphate, sodium aluminum phosphate, modified food starch, soy flour, soy lecithin.
That's just baking soda.
What's konjac flour? Or is it pronounced? I don't think it's pronounced cognac flour, is it?
I think it's
Palm oil,
It's the natural flavors for me. That always gets me.
cornstarch, cellulose gum, potassium sorbate. There's a little bit of bad stuff in there, but
that's going to go bad a lot faster than some of the other products. And donuts
yeah,
go
the
bad too.
calories-
Anybody who's ever eaten donuts at Dunkin' that are like at night when you go in and they baked them in the morning, it's an inferior product.
Famously throw them out at night.
They have to.
Like their deal.
Yeah. So like
that's
donuts
good.
don't- Yeah, you want that.
right. You don't like when the donuts get stale and are bad. That's good. When the McDonald's sits on the shelf for 5 years and doesn't mold, I got
The
questions.
Twinkies that like never change at
Right.
all. Right. As the thesis states, food is supposed to go bad.
It's supposed to go bad.
Well,
I think
it just
people
means
throw-
that there's other things eating it, and if they can't eat it,
You've killed them all
don't-
because the food is toxic.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I don't know
allow
if you
the other
should be
things in the
eating
world.
it.
Yeah, you shouldn't eat it because your microgut is going to get destroyed.
Feels like every few months there's a new thing to boycott for another reason.
Are you into that? You want to boycott stuff?
No, I like buying things.
What's your favorite boycott?
I'm a dirty, filthy capitalist. I see something I like, I want to throw my money at it. I
I
want to
like
buy things.
organic.
Hold on, what would make you
boycotts.
boycott somebody?
What would make me boycott something? Impulsively, I want to say the Israel-Palestine conflict, but even then, it's actually not true because I love eating at Lebanese and Palestinian restaurants. Whenever I travel a lot for work, and I love Middle Eastern food, and there won't be a lot of Israeli restaurants in random areas.
What if
a lot of Lebanese, a lot of Palestinian restaurants.
would you
I love-
boycott? Would you boycott Dunkin' Donuts if they launched a promotional From the River to the Sea campaign where if you sing the song, they'll give you 10% off?
You know, if I were to be inclined to buy Dunkin' Donuts products, then yeah, I wouldn't be swayed otherwise. It's just, you know, the bottom line is if I want your product, I'll buy it. And I'm not arrogant enough to think my individual dollar will make a difference, but maybe those very influential Jews with a lot of shekels would.
Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe and we'll see you all there.